Well, gentlemen, I think we should hurry on south with your bag friend. I know we don't have a lot of time left.
Udo speaks up and says, I can take you to the Madanat. He coughs a bit. We can head out this way. Last time I was there, the town didn't trade as much as before. We usually take some of the organically grown melons to trade with the Pasha. They were acting strangely. We should head that way, and quickly.
I look towards our fearless leader, Torin. Are we good to go? I mean, I feel like we know what we need to do, and we need to head that way anyway, right?
Seems strange, but I don't think we have any other choice. Fiddy's running out of time.
Let us go.
Coughing, Udo says, Come this way. He seems to have some kind of cold or something.
You don't look well, friend.
I should be fine. I've been out in the cold and they kept me without food for the last few days. I should be fine. As he turns and heads out into the jungle.
I'm trying to get a read on him.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Can I do like a medicine check on this guy to see if he's like cure wounds or if it's something else with him that's going on?
You can also give me a medicine check, insight check. Any of those work.
Medicine would be a 17 and insight would be a 19.
Udo definitely has some kind of persistent ailment. He has a slight wheeze every time he exhales.
Do you happen to have a fever maybe? Do you feel hot? Do you feel sweaty? I mean, I know we're in a jungle, but is it worse than that? Is this worse than normal, how you feel in your natural environment?
Gesturing to Abibe, he says, We are usually out here, and it's fine. But I must have caught something from the comings and goings of the people in the town.
Good to know. And Silas, as soon as he turns away, Silas takes 2 steps back from him. Silas does not want to get sick.
Orin's going to step up to him. I need you at your best. May Tempest give you strength, and I'm going to pump 5 points of lay on hands into him to cure any disease he might have.
He looks at you, blinking a bit before he says, Thank you. I feel a bit better. Let us continue on.
Here, you must eat. And I had one of my rations.
Taking it, he quickly devours it. Although Udo is unwell, he seems to be in a hurry, as if he's concerned or preoccupied with something or someone at the Madanat.
If he's leading, I'm gonna stay by him and try to strike up a conversation. It's like, we haven't seen you in a while. You seem to be in a hurry, in a rush. I understand that the village is acting strangely, but you are acting strangely, my friend.
When I was last there, the townsfolk seemed a little out of sorts. Maybe with your friend here, as he gestures to Torin. And what he did with me, perhaps he can help some people that I am close to.
I see. Whatever we can do to help.
If you'd like, you can give me an insight check.
Yes.
See if he's acting weird to you, because you know him better than any of us.
Because I would think that I would know his family. I rolled a 14.
He is acting a bit off, and he seems to be in a rush. Usually when he would go out to trade, it would take him 3 days to get there. This time, he said it's going to take us 2 days to get there. He is coughing into his linens and rubbing his nose and his eyes.
So the lay on hands that Torin did not completely cure him of whatever he has.
Make a medicine check. He is not coughing as much, but whatever he seemingly has is not completely cured.
I looked at Torin. It seems what you did helped him a little, but I don't know if it fully cured him. Should it? Does your magic allow you to cure everything?
I'm not really sure the extent of it, but it should help with most ailments.
Somebody roll a d20.
Got to be you, Oliver. You're the ranger. While they're walking, if Silas gets his boots dirty at all, he's just constantly casting prestidigitation to clean his clothes off. And then he's doing the same for Torin and Caliban. Oh, right, Caliban. So he's cleaning everybody's stuff off,
And so the party continues throughout the rest of the day. As night begins to fall, Udo is insisting on pushing forward.
I came through this jungle before, didn't I? Isn't this the place where I came from?
You were on the coast of this island. Here, you are considerably toward the island's interior. Udo asks, "So, you are familiar with the Madanat?"
Yeah, I stayed there a bit. I arrived and then was contracted to get a job done, and I did it. And then got a bit turned around and wound up somewhere else and met these fine individuals. I didn't come this way, though. I don't feel like it anyway.
You probably wouldn't have come as far. We have a few days to go if we continue to travel for the next 4 hours. Tomorrow we can get up bright and early before we continue heading south.
All right, then as you seem to know this land so well, I will bow to your superior knowledge of the area, and we will stop whenever you feel it's needed. I do notice you seem to be in quite a hurry. You sure you're all right?
Coughing a little bit into his elbow, he says, "I should be fine."
I like give a raised eyebrow to Torn because I recognize his power and his ability to heal and such. So I notice that he is not healed the way Torin meant to heal him, and the respect I have for Torin, I know that it should have done it. So this is clearly something more than we believe it to be. So, and then I take another 2 steps away from from him to make sure I do not catch whatever he has.
The party continues into the evening for another few hours. You hear the distant calls of birds and other jungle life before Udo leads you into a modest clearing. There are some old trees, and the canopy of the jungle hangs over the glade. Udo says, "This looks like as good a place as any, unless you find someplace better, Abibe."
I'm gonna survey the area he's looking at. Is it? Can I use my survival skills in the forest to figure out if this is a safe space?
Give me a survival check.
So 14.
Looking around the glade, it appears pretty safe. There are some small puddles and muck off to one side, but other than that, it looks relatively harmless.
This place looks good. We can rest before we make our final trek. How's everyone on food? So I can go tracking for food. Is everyone okay?
For some reason, do not have any rations. I think I must have lost them in my escape from this jungle before I found y'all. So,
We're on 1 ration.
thank you, Torn. I figured our tracker friend would know how to hunt around here, and he could hunt us some food. But thank you,
Yeah, there's a group. Keep your eyes open.
as you wish.
Yeah, I'll take first.
I'll take second.
Give me a perception check. Looking around during your watch, it's quiet, other than the familiar sound of the frogs croaking and the calls of the nocturnal birds chirping within the jungle canopy. Your watch goes by without incident. Torin. During the night, Udo is having fitful dreams, and he's coughing more than he was the night before. The night goes by without further incident, and as the morning comes, Udo gets up a bit later than usual, and it doesn't look like he slept very well. Looking around the group, he asks, "Does anybody have any food? Abibe, did you track anything down?"
I didn't track anything, but I do have rations, so I'll hand him some rations.
Udo eats about half of it before proclaiming he is full, handing it back to you.
I try and get Abibe's attention, like from behind the sick guy, and I just like shake my head, like, don't eat from whatever he ate. Give it back to him. We don't know what he's sick with.
I'll save this for you.
Thank you, Abibe.
How long have you been sick?
I'm fine. I was in the town 5 or 6 days ago. Maybe a bit longer before I got captured, but I am fine. If anyone wants to make something warm to drink, it might help.
I just glance over to Caliban.
Well, I can create a fire and some water.
Guy says, I can make an herbal poultice, as he starts looking through his pack. If you want to make a fire, perhaps we could have a real breakfast.
Look, I am no judge of how one should sleep in the jungle, but you do not seem like you rested well at all, and we kind of need you at your 100% so we can get back safely. So let's do our best to help you before we move on. I understand you're in a hurry, but maybe this will help you and we can get there even faster.
Caliban creates the fire as Guy starts pulling herbs from some nearby foliage. He cooks a breakfast of fish and creates a minty herbal drink that Udo consumes during breakfast. Guy asks, "How do you feel?" Udo says, "This will help and should lessen my cough. I feel good. We should carry on." As he coughs a little bit more.
Can I do another
Caliban.
medicine check? Just watching him. Yeah, it's only a 14.
Drinks the tea relatively quickly, as if he's in a hurry, but his complexion doesn't change. He is stifling his cough a bit and willfully holding it in.
Okay.
I'm going to lean over to Caliban. I'm going to say, my meter for trust these days is low. There's something off with him. What is your take on him?
What is my take on him? Can I do an insight on him?
Holy shit.
That's why I asked Caliban.
I've just been quietly observing him for a day, thinking about him.
Wow.
He is certainly sick with something that didn't seem to get any better when Torrid laid his hands on him. In fact, he is getting worse while trying to put up a bold front. You know, the tea that Guy made contained no medicinal properties.
But nothing about how trustworthy he might be.
Udo is in a hurry, and something seems to be nagging at him to get back to the town as soon as he can. He is also overly concerned when he said the people weren't trading as much, which has piqued his interest. He is concerned with something or someone.
Does he have family there, or where is he most connected? Like, do I know as a Abiba where he calls home?
Udo is not originally from your tribe. He was adopted into the tribe after he had been there for so long. The story is that he was brought in as someone who was found in a shipwreck, but he was an adult when he arrived.
Okay. Udo, I'm concerned for your health and for the urgency in which you are having us get to this place. When you say they were acting strange, what do you mean by that?
Well, normally
Why are you-
they trade our organic melons compared to their industrialized melons a lot better, and they didn't seem like they were interested as much this time than they had been in the past.
Normally, the people trade our melons a lot more, but it didn't seem like they were as interested this time as they had been in the past.
And do you think there are ties to your captors?
Oh, I don't think so. But we should get back there and see if they're doing any better.
Is that where you got sick?
It may have been. The Pasha had some visitors. In fact, you probably know those visitors. They might have had something that I wasn't accustomed to. But what I have is no big deal. As he coughs again.
Were they coughing?
Not when you were there, Udo says. A couple of them were coughing, but it's really nothing. I probably just need some rest, but we have no time to waste.
Right. I assume we're all walking, like after he finished his tea and we packed up camp.
As you continue on and travel throughout the day, Udo's pace noticeably slows at some point. As the evening comes, Udo says, "We should be there by the middle of the day tomorrow. Now is a good time to set up camp," as he searches around haphazardly. But it is clear He just stopped where he was and began to unpack his things.
I'll raise an eyebrow when I see him just kind of flounder in a direction and not really look. Because we happen to have two ranger type people in our party, both of them used to this environment. So I'll look over at Abiba and say, why don't you take a look, see if there's anything better than this, please? Because he's barely getting by.
I naturally do a secondary on the area. And I want to take a look at the land, make sure that it is hidden well enough, but also like that we aren't, susceptible.
Make a survival check. A 17. He certainly didn't pick a place that would be considered optimal. It looks like he was just worn out and stopped after he couldn't go any further.
Okay. Udo, this is not probably the best location. Are you just exhausted? Are you feeling okay?
Coughing, he says, "This place is as good as any. I think we should just stay here." He sits himself up against one of the large jungle trees. Closing his eyes, he says, "We'll be fine," and is asleep within moments.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to Caliban and Torin. Pardon me, gentlemen. Look, I don't mean to imply or impede or speak above my station, but I am not versed in the restorative arts. I noticed you tried to do something to him, Torin, and I don't know too much about druids, Caliban, but do we have any other restorative magic or restorative items? Because this fella doesn't look like he's gonna make it.
I can try one thing, but I'm not convinced it's necessarily going to do anything because I don't really know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, right.
So I'll walk over and I will try to cast Lesser Restoration on him to see if it has any effect.
Okay. And he's sleeping, and as you put your hands on him, he doesn't even wake up. He's...
As you place your hand on his shoulder, he doesn't even stir. You can end one disease or one condition.
Yeah, I'm looking for a disease. Seems like a disease would be... That's the only thing I can guess, but I don't know if he's actually being affected by a disease. I'm sure he's not blind, deaf, paralyzed, and I don't think he's poisoned.
After you remove your hand from his shoulder, he seems to fall into a deeper sleep. Can I get a flat D20 followed by a perception check for your watch? A 12. The night is quiet, with a bit less chirping of the jungle birds that you're used to hearing closer to your home, and your watch goes by without incident. Let me get a perception check from the person on second watch.
That's a big old 7.
During the night, the only thing that catches your attention are the coughing fits coming from Udo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's stressing me out. Luckily, I got this old rapier of warning, though, so nothing can really snake up on me.
The night goes by without incident, and you have to physically shake Udo awake. Takes him a few moments to get his bearings. He is less vigorous than the day before. Coughing, he says, Are we ready to go?"
Do I need to do a check to notice if he's a little bit, like you said, he's a little bit better? Does it seem like the spell maybe lessened the effect? Like held it back a little bit or restored him a little bit, but not fully?
Make a medicine check.
Well, that's a natural 2 for a 4.
He certainly seems like he's ready to go.
That cough is concerning, though. Torin, it might be a good idea to have Abiba here maybe hunt some game while we're traveling. Maybe scout ahead a little bit or something, considering that I feel terrible exhausting all your rations.
Guy says, "I have a whole bunch of fish here. It should still be good. Well, pretty good."
Okay, I am less
Probably eat
satisfied.
that first.
You might have eaten that the other day.
"Of course it should taste good." Pointing to the bag of holding, he says, "I don't know where that goes, but we stored the fish there that we caught in that river. It's only been a couple of days since we left." Udo says, "We should head out. Let's get moving." And you continue to head south around a large hill before Udo turns to the west. He says, "We should be arriving at the town within the next few hours, maybe mid to late afternoon." His coughing fit is more frequent, and his pace slower than the days before. But he isn't giving up, and he still seems to be in a hurry.
Well, while you are slowing down, I would like to scout ahead. Once we're within, I would say, an hour.
You continue to make your way through the jungle trees, Udo doing his best to break a trail. Coughing, he looks back and says, "Abibe, we should be about an hour outside of town."
Let me take a look ahead while you guys go at a normal pace. I'd just like to make sure that the path is clear.
As you pass, he puts a hand on your shoulder and then passes out.
Oh, Udo. I try to shake him awake.
He doesn't wake.
Do I know? Can I check to see if he's alive?
Give me a medicine check.
As he's doing the medicine check, I look over at Torn. I say, "Well, we still have room in the bag of holding, don't we?"
He is alive, but unconscious.
He's unconscious. Strange.
I can try something, but it'll use quite a bit of my power.
That may not be the best, considering we don't even know what we're walking into here.
That's what I was thinking as well.
He is alive.
I mean, you cured the disease, or you tried to anyway, with a bit of your magical healing. Do you want to try and just maybe pump him with a little tiny bit of healing, see if it wakes him up? Just like a little bit, like a sprinkle, like Salt Bay.
Tried curing the disease before. I can pump 5. I'll pump 5 points of lay on hands in him to try to neutralize the poison. Get on one knee and put my hand on his chest, close my eyes, grab the symbol of Tempest, put 5 points of lay on hands.
Putting your hands upon his chest, you release your divine magic. His breathing becomes more steady, and he falls into a deep sleep.
Well, that seemed to help a bit.
He's not dead. That's a plus. But
What'd you do different?
I tried to maybe neutralize any poison that might affect him, but I don't think it's that either. I'm just wondering if it's something magical in nature. Fiddy might have been able to tell us, but that's not my area of expertise.
Oh right, I worked with a chap that used Identify to check out objects that we he looks at the group procured, and he even used it one time on another person. Make sure there wasn't under the effect of like a charm spell or something. It was hell of a thing.
Do you know that spell?
Unfortunately, I do not. Wish I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can only change spells when I level up. It's a son of a bitch.
What do we do?
We make you know how to make a litter, don't you, Abiba? We just get some sticks and some leaves and some rope, and we can drag him. Cause I don't know, Torn. I don't think you want to carry him. Wait a minute. I look at Calban. Can't you change into animals?
Yes. Why?
Can you change into a horse? We just tie him on your back, and then we just go on our way. We just tie him up there like we're tournament in or something.
How far are we from our destination?
I don't know.
Sure, I guess we can do that.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you, Calban.
Become a warhorse.
And that's something. With with Silas's background of a bounty hunter, and then ties him up the way he would bring in a bounty so he doesn't fall off the horse. Thank you, Calban. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Before he passed out, he advised that the town was just to the southeast side of the next hill. How far ahead of the party will you be?
I'm gonna stay just within. I want to be able to stay ahead of them where I can make it back in case there's danger before they would hit it. So I would say I'm about 15, 20 minutes ahead, and I'm going stealthily. Yeah.
Roll a stealth check.
Damn. Torn, you would have seen me just like hog tie that tracker up. Real easy. Long. Something I've done before a bunch of times.
Raise my eyebrow a little bit.
Hey man, you got to make a a living somehow, and sometimes you got to bring in some bad people. This guy ain't bad, but I don't want him to fall off of this here horse. I mean, Caliban.
We all have a past.
Following the direction, you find some game trails, and the paths get wider. Leaving the jungle, you see a small town occupied by about a dozen buildings. It sits quietly up against the coast, with a large manor house in the middle. Many of the bungalows stand on 8-foot-tall stilts, should the tide rise too high. The area is grass, with paths leading into the town that crisscross throughout.
Do I notice any people about?
Give me a perception check. 18. Doesn't appear to be anyone walking around.
Okay. Can I get a little closer without being seen? I just want to see if I can see the first group of people. I want to stay still within the forest if possible. I'm going to, I guess if I can't see anybody even within the forest cover, I'm going to go back to the group and relay that, I didn't see anybody. It's strangely quiet.
When you were there, Silas, people were out and about, moving from the beach to the farming fields, to the posh's house, or to the tavern. It is an isolated vacation resort for the rich, and you don't recall it being so quiet.
Yeah, I say we take caution as we get closer, or come up with the plan before we head into town, or head into town knowing.
No, that's a good idea. There's definitely something going on here. It was bustling before, rich people eating their food and everything. I mean, that's why, I don't know if y'all remember, but that's why I was hired. It was the melon shipments were being attacked by the lizardmen, and I kind of helped clear that up. But I haven't been back since. This seems strange.
We have to at least see if we can find what we're looking for. Otherwise, the whole days were wasted.
Let's find a place to put down this fine fellow, and maybe.
Are there any predators we should be worried about if we leave him here?
There's always. It's best that we place him in the tree if we can, up at the top. Though, would it be a problem if we took him with us? I don't feel comfortable leaving him out there. There are a lot of creatures out here that could take him.
That's what you want. He's your friend.
Yes, if we could, please. I don't recommend that we leave him out here.
We get to the town, we leave him somewhere near a building, so we don't have Caliban having to drag around his sleeping body as a horse.
Yeah, they had like a fancy name for these buildings. I think they called them like bungalows or something. I never heard of such a fancy phrase for a cottage. But let's clear one of them, make sure it's safe, and then we can leave him in there and make sure he's safe inside, and then Caliban doesn't have to carry him no more.
That would be safer, yes. And then I'm gonna lead them to the first bungalow that I did see, the first building.
As you approach from the path to the south, it looks like there are 9 bungalows on the left, covered in bamboo and thatch. Silas, you stayed in one of these when you were here. You recall a blacksmith shop, a warehouse, the Pasha's home, the tavern across the river, alongside it another outbuilding where some of the help stayed. But as you come out of the jungle, give me a group perception check.
Oh, thank you.
Concerned about Udo.
Heading up to the first building, which is the warehouse, you hear the clopping of horse hooves from within the building. Bursting forth are sickly-looking war horses with black eyes and dingy manes.
Oh, shit.
What?